Hey, it's Andre Johnson here with our Deal Mastery Monday call. Tonight's going to be an interactive discussion, open Q&A. So you got questions, you'll get answers, and we'll make sure we don't leave the Deal Mastery Monday call without answering your questions. So again, this is supposed to be really an open interactive discussion. I will use some slides as talking points to hopefully get conversation going. And I really want to keep my finger on the pulse of what investors are doing throughout the country. As you all know, we have our Deals Meetup community, over 20,000 investors nationwide, and all four corners of the country, even have a Deals Meetup in Canada and abroad. And so we really want to get a good feel for, in the shifting market, what challenges you're facing, what successes you're having, maybe share some best practices. So this is going to be an interactive discussion. Again, this Deal Mastery Monday, really an open Q&A. So if you got questions, you'll get answers. So let's go ahead and rock and roll and get started. For people that will come in late, that's fine. We just want to make sure that we have a good full hour of interactive discussion. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, so I want you to say hello, introduce yourself. If you have questions, of course, ask questions. But I really want people to see, where people are calling in from. So if you can just say, introduce yourself, say, where you're located or where you're investing, and also what type of real estate niche you are, focused on. That would be really good for people on tonight's call to get a good feel for the type of diversification we have, not only geographically, but also in the types of investing strategies that people are engaged in. And the reason why right now investing strategy is so important, because some strategies are a lot more difficult to execute right now than they otherwise would have been even 4 months ago, before the pandemic. Of course, the most obvious being something like short-term rentals, which have been pretty hit hard with the lack of travel amid the pandemic. So, but where there are challenges, there are opportunities. So I know that one of our Deal Mastery students is actually in the process of finishing a info product, a course on short-term rentals, and is looking to provide opportunities for investors to work with him and us in doing short-term rentals anywhere in the country. So again, introduce yourself, say hello. You say you can't get sound. Angela, can anyone else, can everyone else hear me? Or anyone else having any sound challenges? If you're having sound challenges, please go ahead and say so. But we did a mic check before we started. I think the sound is good, but you guys tell me. Are you having problems with sound? Okay, so we have a Ken here. Okay, so maybe Angela, there's something wrong with your mic set there, so you may have to troubleshoot there. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the live chat. Say hello, introduce yourself, and tell people what real estate niche you are focused on. And there'll be plenty of time to ask questions throughout the night. Okay, so keys to success in a market shift. Well, there's no, perfect formula or recipe to succeeding in any real estate market. But even more important than any time is, in a market shift or down market or uncertain market, is really knowing what your expertise is. Now, you can kind of play around. You can kind of try to figure things out. You can kind of try to experiment when you have a rising tide, right? When so the market is going up, 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 and you can kind of, maybe do that first, high end fix and flip, maybe step up from your normal price range of houses up to maybe the tier above. If you are, typically involved in, minor, modest rehabs, you may decide to do a full gut job. If you are buying, cash flowing rentals, you may decide to take on, a bigger project with a larger down payment. So when markets are going really bullish and strong, you can experiment. You can, kind of push the envelope a little bit. When there's a market shift, you still can experiment some, but you better be on solid footing with experimenting within the realm of your expertise. So you have to make sure in this market shift that you know what your expertise is, and that you really focus on making sure that you're creating additional income streams and cash flow streams around that expertise. Now, you still can scale with leverage, just leveraging your expertise. And then, of course, bringing in other resources, whether it's, other people's blank, other people's money, other people's time, other people's credit. So you just have to make sure in this market shift, that you are really focusing in on your expertise, that the experimentation you do with deals, types of deals, with scale of deals, that it really is centered around your expertise. Because, in a shifting market, you just never know if the shift is going sideways, if it's going down, if capital is going to be tighter on the back end in terms of refinancing and things of that nature. So some of the things I've identified as keys to success in any market, and especially in a market shift, is making sure that you are focused on cash flow. You see cash flow there, making sure you have not only real estate, but non-real estate based cash flow that is scalable. One example of that, if you take your expertise and you were to, box it up and put it in some type of, packaged, info product or service, that's something that could be infinitely scalable if you do it correctly. And many of you, even if you're just getting started, you'd be surprised that you likely have, a niche expertise, even if it's, in a just getting started category. Some other things just to quickly highlight. Again, leverage. You're making sure that you identify and focus on your expertise, and then taking that expertise and getting leverage out of it. As an example, I know that there are a number of students in my Deal Mastery network that have lists, buyers lists. And so one of their areas of expertise is being a conduit, and a connector, to cash buyers. I know that many of them right now are leveraging that expertise, leveraging that platform, and doing more JV deals where they are, being very judicious about their marketing dollars, and bringing in deals through joint ventures. So that's just one example there. And there's others here. We'll get into some others as we go along. But the next slide here is really an open-ended question. Do you need help in your business? Where do you need help in your business? Now, I like to look at a real estate business with 4 key pillars. With sales and marketing being a key pillar, really a key pillar of any business in any industry. Operations, that would be, your admins, your VAs, everything that makes, your business go. Could be independent contractors you're working with, agents and strategic partners, professional service providers, whether it's, accounting, property managers, project managers, just professional service providers, and then finance. One of the things that's very often overlooked in the real estate space is just being well capitalized, and most investors are not well capitalized. So just a quick question here. Again, this is going to be an interactive discussion. I want it to be, open for questions, for comments. So if you guys don't mind, if you would throw in the live chat here, which category do you need the most help in right now? Is it sales and marketing? If it's sales and marketing, throw it in the live chat. We'll kind of get some feedback. I want to unmute some people here or there. Is it operations part of your business? Is it the professional services aspect of your business? Or is it finance? Where are you needing help right now in your business? If anyone, if you can throw that in the live chat, we'll get a good idea for who needs help where, and then we'll be able to, hone in on some of those areas, and be able to, engage a few of you actually on the call tonight. The next topic is going to be taking a deeper dive into sales and marketing, but I really would like to see, if there are challenges people are having in individual particular areas. So Tia said finance and marketing. Anyone else, if you can, get that coming in. So the categories are pretty vanilla that applies across most industries. Of course, sales and marketing is going to be everything that is going to deal with, prospecting, And for investors, that's prospecting for motivated sellers. It's prospecting for other stakeholders, whether it be cash buyers, whether it be retail buyers. So that's going to be your sales and marketing, prospecting on the seller and the buyer side. Of course, your operations is going to be, depending on what type of real estate investing you're doing, that's going to more so fall in the lines of, what happens day to day. So who's qualifying, your leads, who's following up and setting appointments, who's actually, going on appointments, who's, doing sales calls. I mean, all those different things. I mean, that's going to be, kind of fall in the umbrella, under the umbrella of your operations. Who's handling paperwork, and then professional services. As in a real estate, a lot of us getting started are going to have to rely on professional service partners. We're going to be a small outfit for the most part. We're going to have to deal with strategic partners, project managers, property managers. We're going to have to deal with brokers and agents. These are all professional service providers, hard money lenders that are going to essentially be service partners that typically don't get paid until we get paid, if you can set it up that way in many cases. But professional services, sometimes there's a lot of gaps that are there. Constantly get asked for referrals to this professional and that professional. And then finance, again, is one of the most overlooked pillars and people's businesses. So good deals. Northern Virginia is concerned. Vishal says that. So question on